On our episode today, we'll be making a very simple but delicious dish. It's from the 1767 cookbook, Primitive Cookery, or The Kitchen Garden Displayed. It's called Hasty Fritters. While today's recipe comes from the cookbook Primitive Cookery, this exact recipe is in several other earlier cookbooks, so it's collected from these earlier cookbooks. Fritters are very common in 18th century cookbooks. They're basically any kind of a batter type item that's fried in fat. You can deep fry these like we're going to do today, or you can pan fry them, but typically they were deep fried, and many times they had a kind of a fruit filling to them. You'll recognize this as the ancestor to what we might call fry bread, elephant ear, donuts, all the same kind of thing. This is a very simple recipe. We're going to start off by heating up a couple of pounds of lard in our pot. You could also pan fry these in butter, but you'd want to make sure to clarify your butter first. Now let's mix some of our ingredients. This recipe uses an ale for its base. You could use a hard apple cider. If you're going to use an ale, you want one that isn't too bitter, so a brown ale makes a very good base. We're going to use about a pint here. I've got 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to very slowly add the flour into our ale mixture while stirring it up. Okay, I've got this mixed up. It's pretty thick, a pretty thick batter, almost a dough. I'm going to add in here our currants. We've got about 1/4 cup. And let's get these mixed in. And I've got 1 apple that's all diced up. We're going to add that in. Okay. Not too big a spot here. It says if you put in more than 1, you want to make sure that they don't touch each other and stick. Make sure these dollops aren't too big, or they'll take too long to cook. The recipe actually calls for flipping these over with an egg slice, and you might be confused by that. An egg slice is a spatula. And these are cooking up fast. Okay, these are done. Let's pull these out. And then you finish them off by sprinkling on just a little bit of powdered sugar. Let's give it a try. You know, these are extremely simple. They only just have the flour and the ale and the fruit and a little bit of sugar up on top. But they are very, very nice. You could add a little bit more in here if they had maybe some cinnamon or some other spices. But for such a simple thing, they're wonderful. These make a great thing to make over a campfire. They're very simple. They're also great for a bonfire. If you want to have something a little special, make these in a nice fall bonfire. They are wonderful.